It is July 1945, and this long and bitter war continues onwards. Every alliance has an equal chance at victory, with all being within spitting distance of each other in this grand conflict. When the will of the people to continue to fight has expired and public outcry demands the conclusion of the war, it might all resolve itself to a single coin toss or a roll of the dice as to who can be called the victor in this conflict. Welcome all to Operation Schlieffen. I am playing as the Comintern in this game. It is winding right up, and so we're playing as the Soviets, the Republicans, and the CCP. We see a lot of different things. Overall, the Soviets have been quite lax in their victory conditions. They're not really doing all that well. As I understand it, we have 7 victory points for the Axis currently, 5 for the Comintern, and 6 for the Allies. So right now the Axis lead, but the gap between these is not too much. All it needs is a point swing to really start tying things up into second place at the very least. And although the first place might still remain the dominant factor behind it, it might ultimately be a tied game for first place as well. We need the Chinese Civil War with 13 IPPs for the CCP. Pacific expansion means we need to hit the Kuril Islands. Soviet technological supremacy means we need to be lucky on a dice roll. So in theory, if we get 2 out of the 3, we could tie ourselves for first place. Now, of course, we might lose one of these ones, but these ones would be the ideal ones because once we become a major power as the Chinese, we can't lose that position. And once we get the Soviet technological supremacy, we also can't lose that either. So we might tie ourselves up for first place. Now, what else do we have? The Pacific expansion is a very difficult one because it requires us to grab the Kuril Islands. Spread their evolution is very difficult as well because it means capturing Burma and Siam. Access to Mediterranean, well, if you do that too late in the game, then the British are too strong to take it out. So that one's a very difficult one. And European buffer zone, that's capturing Warsaw and Romania, and we haven't had any luck to mobilize our resources to go into that position just yet. So that leaves basically just these 2 options, with everything else being out of our reach for the most part. Alternatively, we have to hope for the enemy to lose a couple victory points here or there so that we gain some level of supremacy. So that's where we're at. Let's take a look at the map here. We have 12 bucks to spend as a CCP. We're going to get 2 cavalry and 2 infantry to put on the board. I'm going to move these a little bit closer, and we'll do some attacks. So first of all, we're going to do a risky attack from Kwangtung to Hong Kong with 1 infantry and 1 fighter coming in from Yunnan to engage them as well. We're also doing another risky attack from Hopei to Shantung with 2 fighters coming in from Shanxi to assist in that attack as well. So that is it. So a couple little risky maneuvers here and there. Everything else, that's about it for these guys. So let's roll for some dice. We've spent those 12 bucks, and let's see what the results are. So I've got the dice all laid up ready for us. This is for nothing, left over from last turn. And let's roll some dice. So red is for the fighter, and the white is rolling a 1 for defense. And this militia defending in Hong Kong is hoping to roll a 3 or less, and just barely getting a 6 there. And on the attack, we have a 4 and a 1. Nice. All right, so we've scored 2 hits and managed to capture the state of Hong Kong, the city of Hong Kong, from the dastardly Japanese forces. Very lucky there. Let's see if our luck holds. Come on. As we grab a second territory. That one was very chancy. Could have gone either way. It was a coin toss at best, really. Let's look at the Shantung battle. It really depends on how well this unit defends. We're coming in from Hopei, no river crossing. So that means we have a roll of a 2 and another 4. And the defense is at 4. So likely we'll hit them in the first round. It really depends if they score a hit. Now, we have a 33% chance at being victorious in this one with 1 hit, and they scored a 7. So we have conquered both of our goals here. We've captured Shantung, Kwangtung, and that finishes up. Well, let's continue with a movement here. We non-combat move a character here to Kwangtung. An infantry that is. This fighter will land back in Yunnan. That's basically the only safe place to land. Likewise, these 2 fighters will land in Shanxi, I think. This infantry is going to walk over to Hopei. These other 2 are going to stick it out here in Beiping. So that's that. Now, of course, our KMT friends will likely want to explode outwards from this position, as we're quite weak to do anything, but we've achieved our objectives and become a major power, quite happily so. So let's take a quick look at our little victory conditions, because it's a one-time benefit here. Chinese Civil War, major factory to be placed in a city, land zone, or minor factory to be placed in a land zone. All right, so do we want major factory, or do we want a minor factory? Now, I'm saying that really dramatically. Okay, let's go for a major factory. I really like the idea of a major factory. I wonder if can I still build units if I'm a major power? Sorry, do I still have decentralized military if I'm a major power? Oddly enough, I've never gotten to this point. Evolved to major power. Never gets recruitments or influence roles. Decentralized military ability is gone as well. So decentralized military was really quite lovely to have. And if we lose it, well, that means, yeah, that means it's too bad. But you know what? It's a victory point. It's definitely a victory point. I don't think I can lose. Or do I? Yeah, it's evolved to major power. Once I'm a major power, I can't lose it. So with that in mind, I think I lost my major factory. Let's build ourselves a major factory. And you know what? Should we do it in? We have to do it in city territory, so that means vaping. But that's the only way we can use all of our resources. And so vaping has to be the one. So we're gonna put these guys here. Now, I'm assuming at this point that I have to build my units here because it would probably happen immediately. So I'm going to land my two fighters here as well to help hold on to that territory. And all four of these units are going to be built in Beiping. Whee! Whee! Such a mess. Such a mess. Yeah, I'll just tuck these over here for now. I could always organize them a little bit later. And a two cavalry down here. All right, good news all around. Okay, non-combat moves. So I guess we already did play some stuff, but I guess I forgot this character up here. I'm gonna walk him into Shensi. Ah, you know what? I'm gonna walk him in. Since Shensi is relatively safe, I'm gonna walk him into Szechuan, and that will do it for me. All right. I believe that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bucks to spend on the subsequent turn. Plus we have the $2 bonus, and that's it for them. That really is it for them. That's one of the downsides there of the CCP I never thought of. Once they lose the centralized military, so if they build a minor factory, they will rapidly lose their stuff. They'll have, 13 bucks of territory, but only be able to produce one unit per turn. That's extraordinarily difficult for them to go and not build a major factory. Wow, that is rough. It's almost worthwhile not to go for a major power. But on the plus side, that brings us up one victory point permanently, and we get the Chinese Civil War bonus there. And so we're at second place essentially, and we'll see if we can pull out of first place here shortly. But that's pretty good. I'm pretty good content with that. Moving on from that point, let's take a look at the you know what? Because I keep forgetting them, I'm going to roll for the Republicans as well. I'm going to do them first because I keep absolutely forgetting them, and then they left as an afterthought. With 7, we miss on the recruitment roll. Let's check to see if this is a situation we want to see right now. Okay, I'm going to move 1 infantry to Madrid. Nah, um, nah, I don't think I need to. I'll move out there. This fighter can still cover it. Yeah. All right, there we have it. Relatively content with all that. Feel like I've missed on recruitment roles for them for a bit. Okay, now we move on to these guys. Now, in light of that recent development, what are we gonna do? Hmm. We definitely can go into their territory at this point. We forgot to send them some lendings. So that's $8. So with $8, we're gonna send them a $4 anti-aircraft gun. No, we're gonna send them another mountain infantry for $4. I wish I had more friends for them to send them more lendings. But unfortunately, I have no friends. All right, there we have it. So that's our purchases, $61. Let's roll for the tech because I might actually change up my Soviet transport a little bit. What the results are. All right, so we are only going to roll for. We've succeeded in this one. So we have, yeah, because we're up here. So that's green dice is gone, and these 2 dice left over. And I honestly haven't thought. I thought I had one more tech to go for, but that one I see is up there. Large ship, improved logistics. It really doesn't matter at this point what I go for. It's so close to end game, there's realistically no way I'm going to get to the maximum there. So I'm going to just forget about that dice roll for now. And I'm going to roll, you know what, I'll roll something, but I don't know what I'll put into. I'll roll these 2 dice. I'll roll all 3 of these dice, and then we'll see what the results are. We're really hoping for pink. We bloody well want to get pink as any which way we can. 7, 8, we just barely got pink. We needed 8 or more. We managed to get pink. And now we've succeed in that one. Let's see. This one's a 2. So our whatever our teal dice is is at a 2, and this one here is 11. So we've managed to get our airborne doctrine as well. Boom. That means all of our airborne now are elite airborne, which I believe means that they all row at 3s. So that's quite lovely. So we have this technological supremacy. Boom. And means that we're at 7, so we match the Axis for first place. This is why this game might go on for a bit, because it'll be very difficult for the Axis to get over 7, and likewise for the Allies to go over 7 as well. It's really going to be a tough pickle for everybody to be in. Maybe in that case I'll use this for something. I probably should have said this before. What did I roll? I rolled a 1, so I think the 1 misses anyways. Yeah, I think the 1 misses anyways, so never mind on that one. Okay, you're probably saying, oh, you have 4 dice rolls, well, I plan on moving a factory. So there's that. Okay, so let's start with the Far East, what it looks like. What are our combat moves here? Well, initially we were thinking about combat attacking the Kurile Islands, but the problem there is, at the end of the day, they can just take it back with whatever resources they have at hand. Um, I don't think it's worth it, especially now that we're matching those guys for victory points. I don't think it's worth it. So I'm going to just play around a little bit more and do some other stuff. I'm going to rail an infantry from this position into the friendly enemy territory into Shantung. Because I'm allowed 1 rail movement here, I do believe. I believe it's somewhere back here. When I see a picture of a map, that's a good indication of what it will be like. Nope. I remember in the previous version of the game they had there you go, railways. Yellow, it doesn't say exactly. And cities. Well, I believe it's 1 unit that could rail here. I could be very well wrong, but that actually might be in the non-combat movement section. Sorry, guys, this is not really my intention to drag you through all this stuff, but hey, at the end of the day, you can see how much. Here we go. Asia 1. Okay, that works. So Asia is considered to be farther. So you can see how a person flips through the rulebook. Unit rolls goes all the way down to Shantung since it's a separate turn. I can do that. These cavalry, they move 2 spaces. 1, 2. 1, 2. They're not really out to attack anybody or do anything, but they decide they're going to move that way anyways. And let's see, we're going to, you know what, this is all non-combat move because there's no combat occurring right here. So I'm just going to continue on with this. I'm going to send these 3 infantry here. These 2 infantry are coming in from Amur. These guys from Chitta to Amur. Hopefully you guys can see the screen quite ugly, or quite nicely enough, I should say. And these 2 fighters are going to risk their biscuits and come over here to Korea. This transport plane is going to fly over to Korea as well. This other transport plane is going to make its way to Korea as well. Oh. Now I know that the huge supremacy of forces that the Japanese have will easily wipe me out of the sky if they ever so choose to do so, but one will have to risk whatever one can risk. Those guys move there. Excellent, excellent. Okay, and we're going to rail from this side of the world to international brigades. I'm gonna actually take the opportunity to clone this guy, put him up there because I have to remember to put him on the map. And they're gonna rail their way all the way down to Primorsky Kraj. So, yeah, that is the current state of affairs, what I want to see. So, fingers crossed they don't attack me. One hopes, anyways, with mountainous terrain. It'll be enough, but at the end of the day, they will probably do what they think is best, and it might not be the worst thing in the world to go after my stuff here. Hmm. Moving on. Moving on. 4 units. Can I send another unit there? Hmm. Initially, I planned on dropping off, moving then 2 horses and the infantry to that territory as well. But we'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now and move on to other things. So while I'm looking at this section of the map, I'm going to place my units at this side of the map too. So 2 infantry get placed in Novosibirsk, 2 infantry get placed in Rihi, and then I have a transport and the airborne coming into Chita as well. That's the idea there. So I know I could use this as a heavy transport, but I decided not to go in that direction just yet. I know it's only $2 more. You know what? Okay, fine. For $2 more, I will. I have to delete one of these infantries. That leaves me with $1 left over. And so this guy will be coming in here. Okay, whatever. All right, because was I successful on that dice roll? I don't actually know if I was. Nope, I don't think I was. So never mind, I can't get a airborne unit, and that dice gets split to 2. Never mind. Hopefully the Japs have other things on their mind, as in protecting their own victory points. But they're not going to pursue my stuff here. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. All right. Moving on to other parts. Okay, back to the combat side of things. We're going to make a slight attack into Eastern Andalusia. What was that? Eastern Anatolia. 3 fighters, 3 advanced artillery, and what's this? 7 infantry are going into that territory. Make that just 6 infantry, leaving 1 behind here to help guard against potential airborne attacks. What else are we going to do? We're going to attack. The 74th Army is going to move to Bessarabia, as well as this infantry from southern Ukraine. And we're going to make a seaplane attack here, a submarine attack there, as well as an additional submarine attack here. So let's roll for those submarine attacks first. Perfect. The dice are still here. I keep deleting these each and every time, so it's nice to see them here. Okay, first the seaplane attack. Ah, nothing. Next, we have the submarine attack. Hey, we got 2 hits. All right, perfect. And then we have the submarine attack on the Norway line. A 2 and a 2. So another 2 damage on that Norway line. So a grand total of 4. So this guy scored 2 hits. And this guy also scored 2 hits. And the seaplane, very much uselessly, comes back here, back to this territory here. Let's go for the attacks here in Eastern Anatolia. We have 2 mountain, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, Eastern Anatolia. And like I said, we're going in with 3 fighters, etc. So move that off there. 1, 2, 3. And we have artillery rolling at 3 as well, because mountains. And then we have 6 infantry, 3 of them rolling at 2s, and 3 of them rolling at 1s. The enemy, for their part, has 2 infantry. Is it 2 infantry or is it just 1 infantry? 2 infantry, 2 mountain infantry. That's what I got. Mountain is 4, and orange is 5, and an artillery at 3. All right. So first the artillery rolls. Okay, I throw this down the chute. And then on my end, 1, 2, 3. On their end, they miss. And on my end, I hit with 1. All right, 1. So I'm not sure what my opponent would take off the map, whether it be infantry or artillery. I'm going to say artillery because they've already fired, and so there's that. I'm going to move these temporarily off the map as well. That's the best cost savings they can kind of hope for. And here's the remaining attacks. So my 3 infantry unsupported missed, my 3 infantry supported missed, and 1 of my fighters hit. On their end of things, 2 infantry hit. So we lose 2 of our infantry. And they lose 1 of their regular infantry, and that is all. Now, I think we'll leave it at that. That leaves them with 3 units left over, and I, on the other hand, have a full stack of units left over. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and actually go for a second round. I was debating holding off and just calling it kind of a fun little skirmish on our border, but you know what? Let's continue onwards. So our 3 artillery missed, our infantry unsupported missed as well. Our 3 okay, our 3 aircraft hit, but everything else missed. On their end of things, we have 1, 2, 2 hits, so we lose 2 more infantry. All right, so they're wiped out, and we're left with 1, 2, 3 infantry down. Is that correct? I think that's correct. So I have left with 2 infantry, 3 artillery, and 3 aircraft. Now those aircraft, forgive me if I'm wrong, I kind of messed that up a little bit. The aircraft are going to land somewhere farther away, out of the action. I don't actually know how much the Allies have present here, but between what they have as airborne units, I think it's doable, very doable, that they have sufficient forces to hit me. So these 3 aircraft are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and landing in Western Ukraine. My little attack into Bessarabia, I'm going to roll for now. So they have 1 infantry rolling at a 4. Let's see what the results are. And I have a pile of units coming in. They missed. I have a pile of tanks going in. I have 7 tanks. So let me just roll for those 7 tanks. Boom. We have 3 hits. And they had 8. So yeah, we won out on that battle and took out Bessarabia. The 74th Army comes in here, and I'm going to add this infantry here. Lean up against that guy right there. Where do we place gently? Somewhere here. Come on! Right on the edge, right on the edge. Okay, so that's that. Let's go into non-combat moves. So I'm going to make some space here. This infantry is going to march over. This militia is going to march over. This tank, these 2 tanks, and this Katyusha rocket is going to come in here as well. These 2 infantry are going to walk 1 space closer. I'm going to walk into this position here, actually. And, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to actually send them here. All right. We're going to send this militia up from northern Belarus to Leningrad. And I believe that is it. Oh, and this guy here from southern Finland to Helsinki. We're also going to rail a factory from Moscow into western Ukraine. From Moscow, you say? Yes, my friends, from Moscow. It's too far into the interior. Doesn't do me much good there. Right into western Ukraine. Right exposed at the cusp of all damage. And now we place our units. We're going to place the bulk of our units here. International. Oops, what's this? This is the mountain infantry. We're going to rail over to the Tsinghai to lend these over there. The airborne thing is going to come in here. Oh, I forgot this. We're going to send two militia that way, 1 militia up north that way, and this guy's going to march in here to Crimea. So we have 1 infantry, 2 militia, and 1 anti-aircraft gun sitting over there. And just for kicks, I think I might send another tank over here, just because we might need that extra little oomph in case the British decide to attack us here in Transcaucasus. Hopefully not. I'm not planning on being too aggressive on the Turkish front. And there's other things to do to get our resources or our victory points. All right. Okay, fine. I'm gonna put 2 units down there because I just don't trust the Brits. All right. And that takes care of that. Let's take a look at the income tracker. So actually, these guys are up at 14. What did I give them? I gave them 16. And the Russians are still at, is it 58? Why is it 58? I trust that it is 58. No, we're going to be 1 point up because the Germans lost the territory. So 59, I think. They're 46. And plus a $3 income, so that leaves us at 62. 62. Plus, didn't we build? No, yeah, it is 62. There we have it, guys. That is the Russian turn. We've matched our opponents in victory points, and our victory points can't be taken away as easily as one would hope. One last non-combat move I'm going to do is I'm going to. So one of the things that they can do is attack us potentially in Helsinki. So I'm going to move some ships around. This destroyer is going to come across here, and this destroyer is going to come across here. That's easily taken out by any German units, so perhaps I'm not going to go there. Yep, it's one of those things that if the Germans or if the German transports decide to hit us, they can hit us without too much difficulty on that regards. And we've used our rail capacity. Ultimately, there's not much we can do if they decide to take off 1 victory point. I'm giving them ideas here, but this is one of the things that I could perfectly foresee. Not perfectly, obviously, but I could foresee them doing. Of course, they'd have to risk losing their units. It asks the question too, if a German transport comes in here, can you send your fighters to escort in this position if no combat might occur? It's one of those things like you're combat moving, but there might not be combat. Anyways, fun fact. But I can't cover both places, both C-Zone A14 as well as A13. So at the end of the day, Helsinki is open to enemy attacks. That being said, perhaps I should forego railing my factory there and send an additional 2 units to that position. Shame, for shame! All my Close laid plans have fallen awry. Okay, 2 extra infantry are going to rail their way out here. Now we have a bit of a defense there, but not great. That's that, gentlemen. Sorry about that. A little bit of a kerfuffle there at the end. Hopefully it works out good for everybody else. Cheers, all.